Welcome to Podkey Fantasy Football, where we pressure test the draft market before it prices you out. The hardest draft mistake usually starts with a good story, a breakout role, a friendly depth chart, a shiny ADP discount. The useful question is whether the workload, offense, and price all support that story at the same time. Puka Nacua at 1.05 has a serious case, even for overall WR1. Through 3 seasons, he's averaged 7.1 catches and 95.3 yards per game, which is rare target earning territory. The discount comes from injury and possible suspension risk, so the decision is really about how much uncertainty your roster can absorb at the top. James Cook looks like the quieter late first value. League-leading rushing volume, 14 touchdowns, around 300 carries, and 30 catches provide a strong established base. A larger receiving role would raise the ceiling, though that part remains an expectation rather than production already on the record. Jahmyr Gibbs has the cleanest pathway to a workload spike after David Montgomery's departure. Detroit's line could improve, and Montgomery's 5-yard line work leaves meaningful touchdown opportunity behind. The price will likely recognize that immediately, so Gibbs is a bet on elite efficiency meeting a fuller role. Christian McCaffrey still carries overall RB1 range when healthy. Age and accumulated workload create a much wider failure range than the projection alone suggests. That makes his selection a roster construction decision as much as a player evaluation. Rigid openings create avoidable mistakes. 3 receivers can be an excellent start when Nacua, Chris Olave, Jalen Waddle, or Emeka Egbuka fall beyond expectation, especially in shallow leagues with multiple flex spots. That build carries an obligation. Attack running back uncertainty later with several credible paths to workload. Zero RB and Hero RB work because replacement-level options are stronger in shallower formats, while 1 or 2 missed late-back bets can still leave the roster structurally thin. Running backs have moved slightly earlier, with 26 taken in the first 60 picks compared with 24 last year. Round 3 rose from 3 backs to 5. Some of that may be rational, given heavier personnel usage and more receiving work for traditional RB2s. It also means a room that chases the top 11 backs may hand you discounted elite receivers, quarterbacks, or tight ends. In 10-team leagues, positional edges matter more because every roster has depth. Saquon Barkley at 23, Lamar Jackson at 58, or Justin Herbert at 129 are examples of falling values worth taking seriously. Strong offenses can also support multiple starters, so stacking Detroit, Cincinnati, Dallas, or Philadelphia is a reasonable outcome when the prices cooperate. Quarterback depth remains the central economic fact in 10-team leagues. Jared Goff, Brock Purdy, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Jordan Love, Bo Nix, and Herbert can all be available later, which makes Josh Allen in round 2 or early round 3 difficult to justify when the projected weekly gap is modest. Allen becomes more compelling in round 3 or 4. Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, or Drake May can earn earlier selections when they slip materially below market. Purdy is especially interesting late when healthy. He has never finished outside the top 12, has averaged roughly a QB6 finish, and leads the last 3 seasons in EPA per dropback and success rate. That's a strong evidence base for a safe late starter, even if it lacks the rushing-driven ceiling of the very top tier. Murray carries more breakout appeal in Minnesota. His career has produced top 12 fantasy weeks in 55% of 82 starts, and Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and a stronger run game create a better environment. The caution is real. In 5 healthy games last year, 35 rushing yards per game still failed to deliver a top 15 finish. Designed runs under Kevin O'Connell and Frank Smith are plausible upside, not a confirmed role. Jackson Dart at pick 129 asks for too much certainty. A physical giant system under John Harbaugh and Greg Roman may limit the rushing freedom that powers his fantasy case, leaving a demanding passing efficiency bet. Javonte Williams in Dallas looks like one of the clearest round 3 or 4 values if lead back usage holds. 27 rushing attempts per game, red zone access, and a potentially elite line support the projection for around 50 catches and 12-plus touchdowns. The key unknown is role certainty, because projections become fragile when a team distributes high-leverage work. Chase Brown's late-season RB2 points-per-game finish and strong per-touch efficiency support his second-round breakout case. A top-5 finish would require touchdown growth, and touchdowns are where forecast confidence drops fastest. Breece Hall's round 3 or early round 4 price deserves more resistance. He averaged 17.4 touches and 13 PPR points per game last season, while Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis can claim passing down or high leverage work. The Jets' bottom 5 scoring finishes in 6 of 7 seasons add an offense-level constraint. Trevion Henderson carries a similar pricing problem. Ramondre Stevenson has received first-team and red zone work, and Henderson's best production came while Stevenson was injured. This looks like a committee risk with an incumbent coach's already trust. Josh Jacobs requires an even larger risk discount. He faces misdemeanor battery and criminal damage charges, has a November 17 court appearance, and the NFL's timing remains uncertain. A reported surveillance video could matter if released, while outcomes range from delayed discipline to major missed time. Late round 5 or round 6 reflects the uncertainty more responsibly than treating last year's 19-plus points per game as the whole evaluation. At receiver, Devonta Smith around WR33 or WR34 stands out. He's been top 10 in yards per target since entering the league, averages 18.3 PPR points with at least 7 targets, and posted a 30% route target rate without A.J. Brown. Brown's presence lowers weekly certainty, while Smith's price already accounts for much of that. Zay Flowers offers a valuable survival floor, with at least 200 PPR points in each of the last 3 years, a 29% target share, and elite yards per route run last season. That profile is particularly useful in guillotine formats, where avoiding a disastrous week matters more than chasing every theoretical ceiling. DK Metcalf's round 7 to 9 range is tougher to defend. Aaron Rodgers had the lowest average depth of target among qualified quarterbacks. Metcalf saw only 1.6 deep targets per game, and Pittsburgh has several short area options. The ceiling story needs a volume answer. At tight end, Brock Bowers merits aggressive consideration in the late second or early third. His 112 rookie catches came in the league's 28th ranked scoring offense, and a thin Raiders receiver room gives him a credible route to another target avalanche. The 400-yard outcome remains a ceiling projection. The broader strategy is elite tight end or patience. Colston Loveland, Tucker Kraft, and Mark Andrews offer mid-round values with real evidence behind them, while many mid-range picks already cost a breakout price. Trey McBride can still lead Arizona across the board, though coaching change, route volume context, and touchdown regression make his prior 10.6 targets and 21.1 PPR points per game difficult to simply repeat. Drafting well means paying for evidence, discounting uncertainty, and letting the room create your opportunities. That's the edge to keep looking for on Podkey Fantasy Football. This episode was generated by Podkey. Create your own at podkey.fm.